All right, welcome back to my channel. Today we're going to be installing this yard hydrant. Now, how these work is these are anti-frost or anti-freeze really. These won't freeze up in the wintertime for you. How these work is obviously you lift this up, water comes out here, and then when you close it, you shut it off. Now when you're lifting this, there's a plunger right here. This plunger goes, or this rod, goes all the way down to the bottom here, to this portion right here. Okay? Hold on, let me focus my camera better. This here is a valve. There's a plunger, like I said, and here there's a rubber stopper or plunger here that goes up and down and lets the water through the pipe here. And then when you close it, it pushes the plunger back into the hole here and it stops the water from coming up. Now when you close it, pushes the rod down, closes the valve, and then this is a little weep hole right here. Okay? This weep hole, when you close the valve, the water drains. So when I close this, all the water drains out of this weep hole, making this empty, and it won't freeze on you because there's no water in there to freeze. That's how these work. Also, it's a good idea if you're going to use this in the winter time and you have a hose on there for whatever reason, don't put the hose on, or make sure you take it off at least after you use the water, because while the water's going down, air's got to come back in there. Because if this is closed here with the hose on it and you got one of those sprayers on it, the water won't go down. So you got to remember that. So here on this end, I have a elbow, a 3/4 inch elbow, and male and female. I'm sorry, female and male here. And at the end here, I put in a 3/4 inch PEX male adapter. Okay, this is for a PEX pipe or a PEX tubing. 3/4 inch thread into the female 3/4 inch elbow, and this barbed end is where your pipe goes in. I'm going to put one of those ring clamps on there. If you live in the northern states where it gets extremely cold, these are going to come in 3-4 foot depth. Okay, these are going to be much longer. Here, these are for a 12-inch depth, 1 foot. That's what I'm doing mine at. That's our frost line here, is 12 inches basically. So yeah, so if you live, say, up in the northern states, these things are going to be like 4 or 5. These things are going to be like 6 feet plus, you know, in length. So you're going to be burying these 3 or 4 feet deep, because these are going to be sticking out of the ground 2 or 3 feet, depending, you know, how deep you put it. But for me, it's going to be 1 foot deep, and the rest is going to be out of the ground. So we're looking at I don't know, close to 3 feet up above the ground. Okay, so let me show you how we're going to install this. Let me show you what I've been doing here too. All right, so what I've done here is I tapped into an existing line. This is a 1 3/4 inch PVC pipe. Water comes from here and it shoots this way. And then on the other side here, I have another spigot on another area. So I had to tie into this with the T here, and this one goes to my building here. And this valve that I put here, I put another T here, this valve is going to go to the yard hydrant that we're going to be installing now. But all I did here is I put a repair coupling here. There's a 1 3/4 inch repair coupling, T here, and a valve so I can shut off the water to that one spigot if I wanted to. Here I put in a T and I put in a brass valve. This I had, so that's why I use this brass valve here. I had it. I didn't feel like running to the store and getting another one of these. Plus, these are a little better. A lot better. So anyways, and then I teed it here, and this is going into the building, and I can shut the water off to the building here. I can turn off the yard hydrant here, or I can shut off the other spigot there. In other words, I have options where I can turn water on and off. For instance, if that other yard hydrant broke and I had to fix it, I can just isolate it and shut this off, and I won't shut water off to the building. Same thing with the yard hydrant here. If something happens to it I can shut it off, isolate it, and I'll still have water to the building. And then before this, I also have a valve to shut everything off. Always good to have valves everywhere. Okay, so let me show you how we're going to install this yard hydrant. Okay, so the yard hydrant is going to be connected to the 3/4 inch male adapter right there for the PEX. And it's going to go along where I trenched it here, into this hole right here. Okay, so let's get this started. All right, so the first thing we have to do is we need a T-post. Okay, but the T-post is going to be supporting this thing, keeping it from, you know, making it all wobbly and stuff. This will help support it. Now, the T-post, where the V is in the T-post here, is going to have to wrap around the pipe. Okay, let's see if I can do this. Like this, okay? And you have to make sure it doesn't get in the way of the valve where you're connecting it and the weep hole, okay? It's going to basically be like this. Now we got to drive this into the ground quite a ways, and then we can start connecting it. Okay guys, so in my situation, when I put this down in here, I got to make sure I am far enough away from the building so when I open this lever here, it's not going to hit the building, obviously. So it looks like I'm a good 6 inches away when the handle's open. So we're good there. Okay, let me put this T-post in, and then we can put this in. I got to pound this in. It's extremely loud. Put your ear protection on. Make sure it's nice and straight. You can always bend these a little bit. It's not a big deal. And then stop and check. Ooh, we got to go down about a foot. Well, close to a foot anyways. Almost there. Okay, that should do it. Okay, working on the bottom of our hydrant now, we're going to connect our PEX to the bottom here. We're going to put our 3/4 inch clamp on there like that, and then we're going to connect our PEX to it like that. So when you put your ring on, you're going to want to leave from the ring to the brass piece here, you want to about 1/8 of an inch. You want to leave a little gap, about right there. Then you're going to need one of these tools here. I'm going to put a link to all this stuff here in the description of the video. This will crimp this little top portion here, right in here, and it'll tighten it up. So you're going to want to put that right on top like this. And hold it crimped, or hold it for a few seconds, and then let go. And that's a good connection right there. Okay, I got the yard hydrant in. You can see how I have it on the T-post there. I temporarily put some wire around there to hold it. And then we're going to go down into the hole. And you can see I had a piece of cement. You want to put a brick or something under there to support it, to keep it from sinking into the ground in the future, you know. So I just put this piece of cement that I had laying around under there, and that'll support it. And I have my line going all the way to where I need to connect it. I need to cut it, obviously. So we're going to do that next. So now we need to cut this, and I'd say right about here is good. Alright, same deal here. We want to get our rings. Put that on our pipe first, and then put that right on there like that. And like I said before, we want this about like that. In other words, what you're aiming for, take this off, you want this ring to be right in the middle of that barb there. You don't want it like this, and you don't want it up against here. You want it right in the middle. Not too far this way and not too close this way. Okay. Now we want to put our ring on about like right there. Leave about an 1/8 inch or so. And then tighten it up. Now these aren't easy to tighten, so these are pretty stiff. Hold it for a few seconds all the way, and then let it go. And we're good. Alright, so that's all connected. And we have it connected to the yard hydrant. I put an extra wire right there. And of course, one right there. Alright, let's test this out. Alright, so now we can turn this on. And of course, check for leaks. Nothing. And of course, check for leaks by the yard hydrant also. And it looks like we're good. Alright, let's try it out. Woo, we got water. Beautiful, and it's weeping out here. It's leaking out of this hole here, and I'll show you here. Okay, on the yard hydrant, what I did is I lined that hole that I had in there with some weed fabric cloth, and water is able to go through this cloth. It's a woven weed fabric cloth. So I made a pocket, you know, I just lined that hole, and what I'm going to do is I'm going to fill this with gravel. You can use pea gravel, would be excellent too, but some kind of good sized rocks. I mean, we're talking 1/4 inch or bigger, you know, rocks, and we're going to fill this thing up. And the reason for that is this makes a cavity in there, so when you close the water that weeps out has got somewhere to go. All right, so we're going to do that next. Not only did I line it, but I also covered the bottom of it too. And the purpose of it is to keep the dirt from going into where the rocks are and making things real muddy in there. So we're going to, usually a 5-gallon bucket will work. Yeah, that'll work. And what I usually do on my other yard hydrants, I fill them up about 2 to 3 inches to the top. It's just about there right now. Then I'll get this material and fold it down over it like this. And then I'll cover it with dirt. Grass will grow here and everything, you won't even know it. That should do it. I gotta fill in the rest of this, so. But anyways, that's how you do it. Then the grass will grow. This will tighten up a little bit. But yeah, it's all done. What I'm gonna have to do later is when I fill this hole back in, I'm gonna put this box over here like this. And I may have to make some more cutouts here so they could fit over the pipe. But generally, this is going to be an area where I can reach in and turn my valve off here or this one off here if I need to. And that's going there like that. And then this other one I'm putting right in the front here, like this, for this valve here, so I can go in there and reach. See, I'll have to cut these out here and fit that right into the pipe. And whenever I need to, shut off the water to the building. All right, it looks like we're all set right now. What it's doing is draining, and that water is going out that weep hole and going to that cavity of rocks that I put down in there, and that way it doesn't freeze in the wintertime. This is all set here. I got to fill the rest of this all in. I got to put some boxes over here where the valves are, so I can open those up and reach down in there and turn those off in the future if I need to, and fill this area all in. All right, guys. So hope you enjoyed this video. Hope you learned something. Again, I'm going to put the links to things I mentioned in here in the description under the video. Please like, subscribe to my channel, and I will see you guys in my next video.